What if you took the way Charlie Munger's hand-picked investor thinks about a business and pointed it straight at the Australian market? That's what we're doing today. Li Lu, the man Munger trusted with his own family's money, built a fortune buying wonderful businesses run by honest people at a fair price. So which ASX companies look closest to that? Let's find out.
Before we do though, quick disclaimer. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a licensed advisor. This is purely educational. Do your own research. Talk to a professional if you need to. All right, let's go.
So, who is Li Lu? His story is unusual. He grew up in China, became a student leader during the Tiananmen Square protests in 1989, and fled to the United States as a refugee, barely speaking English. He made his way to Columbia, stumbled into a lecture by Warren Buffett, and discovered value investing. He never looked back. In 1997, he started his fund, Himalaya Capital. And here's the part that matters most. Charlie Munger, Buffett's partner and famously hard to impress, handed Li Lu a chunk of his own family's money to manage. That almost never happened with anyone. Since then, Himalaya is reported to have compounded at around 30% a year. But the number isn't really the point. The way he thinks is, and it fits on a single line. Look at the downside before you look at the upside.
So what is Li Lu actually looking for? 5 things, and he won't bend on any of them. First, a business he can understand. If he can't explain how it makes money in a sentence, he walks away. Second, a durable moat. High returns on capital that stay high year after year without piling on debt. Third, and this one's easy to overlook, people he can trust. Honest, capable managers who think like owners. Fourth, a margin of safety, paying a price comfortably below what the business is really worth. And fifth, a long runway, so the business can keep compounding for years. Quality, character, and a fair price, all at once. That's a high bar.
So we ran the ASX through that filter. Start with around 2,000 listed companies. Keep only those above $300 million, with at least 3 years of audited accounts. That's roughly 350. Now demand a genuine, understandable moat. You're down to about 60. Add honest, owner-minded management and a strong balance sheet, maybe 12. And then the hard one. Insist on a margin of safety, too. Only a handful survive. And that scarcity is the whole story.
And the closest fit might surprise you. It's not a glamorous tech name. It's ARB Corporation, the company that makes 4-wheel drive bull bars, canopies, and suspension kits. Here's why it scores so well. The business is simple to understand. Return on equity has sat around 20% for years, a real durable moat built on a trusted brand and a deep dealer network. The founding Brown family is still closely involved. The balance sheet carries net cash, and there's a long runway selling to 4-wheel drive owners all over the world. On almost every part of Li Lu's lens, ARB passes cleanly. Now, here's the honest part. On price, it's only a partial pass. At around 22 to 25 times earnings, ARB is fairly valued, not the bargain Li Lu's downside-first discipline really wants. And its sales rise and fall a little with new car demand. So it scores 23 out of 26. A wonderful business, just not today at a wonderful price.
The runner-up is Reece, the plumbing and bathroom supplier, now expanding hard into the United States. The Wilson family owns about 70%, and they genuinely think in decades, which is exactly the owner mentality Li Lu prizes. But returns on equity are more modest, around 12%, and the shares aren't cheap, so it lands at 20 out of 26. And now the most useful company in this whole episode, the one that fails. WiseTech Global. On paper, it looks like the perfect Li Lu stock, a dominant global logistics software moat, founder-led, with a huge runway ahead of it. But in late 2024, its founder ended up at the center of a governance crisis. Board resignations, a corporate regulator investigation, serious questions over disclosures. and that breaks a non-negotiable. Li Lu insists on people you can trust. A brilliant moat just can't make up for that.
Before you go running this screen yourself, be honest about what it can't do. It can't judge character. A number can't tell you whether a manager is trustworthy, and WiseTech is exactly why that matters. It can't really value a business for you either. A fair price sounds simple, but working out what something is truly worth is the hardest part. The screen only points you at the question. And it can't see the future. A moat that looks unbreakable today can quietly erode over 10 years. Li Lu would be the first to say it. The framework narrows the field, but the judgment is still yours.
So here's the idea worth keeping, even if you forget all three companies. A wonderful business is only a wonderful investment when two other things are also true. You can trust the people running it, and you didn't overpay to own it. Quality, character, and a margin of safety. Miss any one of them, and the other two can't save you. That's Li Lu's discipline. Patient, demanding, and refusing to settle. If that way of thinking is useful to you, subscribe. There's a new investor lens every week. See you in the next one.